Hi there, I'm Andrea Koppel, and it's time for coffee, the podcast where you get to hear firsthand what the jobs and careers that interest you the most are really like. Hey there, Java junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Joshua Adler. Final espresso shot, Josh. What would Java junkies be surprised to learn about your profession?
Well, I'll say 2 things. One is the point I was just making, that it's as much as you think that being high tech and software and in this global industry and on the internet is this new thing where the world is wide open, and there's almost, for what we're doing, there's virtually no competition, and it's a completely new concept, and it makes a ton of sense. The people and relationships and way that you're perceived by your customers, who very much talk to each other and are in the same places and are all chattering out there, really matters. And so it's easy to maybe be in Silicon Valley or read about businesses like Facebook and Google and think, if you create this awesome online portal that has some great tools and some great design, millions of people are going to flock to this thing. But when you're selling to businesses, even products that seem very simple, even products that seem really low cost, hey, this is free and it's going to help you get better information and make better decisions. There's an incredibly long adoption period. One of the things that I find that a lot of entrepreneurs in the business to business space misunderstand is that if their product is super cheap or even free, that anyone will use it, that anyone will buy it and try it out. But that's not the real cost. The real cost for that user is, am I going to spend time on something that won't be around in 6 months or a year? Am I going to invest in changing the way that I have done things and learned to do things, and everyone else does them this way for years and years and years, for some kid who's telling me that he's got some new, better way, who doesn't know anything about the way we do things or why we do them that way? And, it's not, the cost is not the price for $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000 per year to buy your thing. The cost is the cost in the time and change and buy-in of changing the way an organization does things from the way they've been doing them, which is enormously hard to do, even in the smaller organizations. And when you get to the big ones, it's crazy. There's like thousands of people who have to agree on your thing, and nobody cares that much because the way they're doing it, it's good enough. It's been working for a long time. Who wants to mess with it? Who's going to take that on? And so I would say that the big surprise is how hard it is, how much time and investment and education and training and socializing and, getting trust and support from the medium to large size organizations you have to do to get any kind of complex business to change the way they do things. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the price or effectiveness of your product. And that is a huge eye opener that a lot of people with some new technology or great idea do not understand at all. They think it's, hey, if I can raise $100,000 or $200,000 or $500,000, I can get a couple of coders. I can build this thing in 6 months. It's going to be amazing. We're going to make it free. A ton of people are going to be on there, and then we're going to start charging them premium pricing next year and blah, blah, blah. That is just not how it works at all when you're in the world of big business, heavy industry. they only care about the downside. There is no upside. There's only what's the risk to my career? What's the risk to my organization if we change the way we do things to take on your little thing that might not be here next year? And that's a completely different mode of thinking for most people who are coming out of college or starting a little tech company. It's a much bigger challenge than I ever imagined. And it's something that's hard to understand if you haven't been in these big organizations before.
Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to Time for Coffee, where the professionals in the jobs that most interest you always have time to grab coffee 24/7, no matter where you live. I have one quick favor to ask you. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Time for Coffee. Thanks so much.